I bought this Kyosho Pure Alpha 3 months ago. Ngayon lang natin na kukut-kutin to drive. I need to clean the carburetor, please. First. This is the carburetor, my friend.
Rejoignez-les et créez votre propre réalité. L'avenir financier ne se rêve pas. Il se construit. Préparez votre avenir. Poursuivez vos objectifs. Ne vous contentez pas de gagner votre argent. Prenez-en le contrôle. À votre manière. Étape par étape. Investissement après investissement. Vous travaillez dur pour votre argent. Maintenant, laissez-le travailler pour vous. XTB, là où votre argent travaille. Attention, investir comporte des risques de perte d'argent et ne peut pas vous convenir.
Hello, friend. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my live. Need to clean the carburetor. It's a 25 years old RC. It's nice to clean first before using. Thank you. Just uploading. Thank you, my friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Gal Gadot, who plays Superwoman, and she is quite the Superwoman, not because of her character, because of what she just said at the ADL conference. I mean, she said, I'm a Jewish woman, I'm a mother of 4 girls, I'm an Israeli, and she stands up with pride in spite of all the horrific anti-Semitism and murder against Jews over the last 2 years. She talks about what happened on October 7th, the vicious slaughter of over 1,200 Jews. On 1 or 2 days that were invaded by Hamas and civilians from Gaza. They went in, they murdered, they pillaged, they beheaded people, they raped people in front of their family members, they shot their animals. All this footage is online, people can watch some of it. And despite that, Israel fought back to survive, and they did whatever they could to protect people. Don't forget, Jews, Christians, and Muslims were all killed on October 7th. And this was done by the Gaza individuals run by Hamas, who have sworn to destroy every Jew in the world in the Hamas Charter. Israel left there in 2005, took out their people that lived there, the 10,000 Jews. They took out the graves because they knew the Arabs would desecrate their graves.
Mahirap tanggalin. Baka ma-restride, mga friend. The way I will doing is
Your tax dollars from America, from Canada, Europe, Australia, European Union, and around the world, they took that money and they built terror tunnels, 300 miles of underground terror tunnels. They smuggled weapons in. They built weapons factories. They stored missiles in hospitals, in nursery schools, and fired them for years at civilians, Jews, Muslims, and Christians in Israel. They tried to murder them. Each missile, I believe, is a weapon of mass destruction. It could kill hundreds, if not thousands, of people. And the world was silent. The world was silent. They kept on sending their money to Gaza, to UNRWA, to these horrible organizations. And instead of using all that money to build hospitals, to build farmlands and export products, to build a beautiful beachfront, resort hotels, they took the money instead and invested in absolute terror and murder, which makes sense because that's what Hamas wants to do. According to Article 7 of the 1988 Charter, their goal is to murder every Jew in the world. It's there. Google it and read it yourself, and that's exactly what the Israelis had to deal with. And unfortunately,
thank you guys for watching.
Instead of condemning this, with thousands of people on the streets of universities, Harvard, Columbia, streets of London, Paris, Toronto, around the world, screaming things like, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Don't forget, this is before Israel even responded to the murder against 1,200 people and taking 250 hostages. And before they could even respond, the world was supporting horror, supporting murder, supporting genocide against the Jewish people. And Gal Gadot was experiencing tremendous anti-Semitism, and she had to think about what to do. She had to risk her career by speaking up, but she decided to speak up, saying she's a Jewish woman. What was really remarkable is her comments about her family. Listen very carefully. One grandfather was a Holocaust survivor from Czechoslovakia, whose whole family was murdered. On the other side, she's an 8th generation Israeli, meaning her family's lived there for 8 generations. I'm not sure what 8 generations are. Maybe it's about 160 years, 180 years. I'm not sure where they came from. But the truth is, Jews have lived there for thousands of years. Her family returned about 180 years ago, 160 years ago. But Jews have lived there for thousands of years. It was the birthplace of Judaism. It's where the Bible was given. It's where Abraham...
Hello everyone, thank you very much for watching my video, my live.
This mouse backpack is the best I've ever used.
This is the most advanced fabric we've ever released. Introducing Ultratex by Mouse. Built from high tenacity Robic nylon. Reinforced with ultra high molecular weight polyethylene fibers.
Difficult to remove, huh?
3 times more tear resistant than standard nylon. Then sealed with a dual layer polyurethane coating for extreme water resistance.
Oh my god.
And now,
Slime.
Mercedes AMG Petronus Formula 1 team backpack. Light enough to travel the world, strong enough to survive everything they throw at it, and functional enough for one of the most demanding teams in sport. So how does it work? It combines 2 incredible elements to create a remarkable material.
Come
The heart
on.
is the Robic nylon, a high-strength, low-weight polymer. Woven into it, a grid of ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene fibers. If the fabric gets punctured or caught, the grid traps the damage, preventing it from spreading. All of this makes Ultratex incredibly strong and durable, but without the need for heavier, thicker fabric. Ultralight, seriously robust. Then it's coated twice with polyurethane that's applied to the surface of the fabric, which seals the tiny gaps between fibers.
I need to change this plastic, okay?
Long-term durability.
So I will break you.
We show them that the bag
You're
has
not good.
18 compartments for ultimate organization. The same wraparound zips for complete access to the bag, and external pockets for instant access. All within a design that never compromises on protection. The base is still lined with a parent foam, a non-Newtonian fluid made up of hydrogen bonds, which form and break on impact to
Okay.
energy and protect your team. When one of the most demanding teams in the world need
Alabut ni Puchik World. Thank you, my friend.
Again, just proof that we're coming to
Thank you
life.
for watching.
We reject these negotiations, and the United States has failed, and Hormuz will remain closed. And look, within 3 days, Trump managed to announce that the war was calming down, issue a dramatic threat, but then walk it back. So let us talk for a moment about what stands behind this surprise announcement about negotiations with Iran, and why this time it is especially intriguing. I'm here, Pinto. With me is Mati Shoshani, and together, this is a special live broadcast of Boots on the Ground, and we will try to understand what's happening right now. Will the president of the
Okay.
United States try to push towards ending
I
the
removed the
conflict
engine
by
because it's very dirty.
and taking control
I want to
of
clean it
that island?
first.
Has opening the strait become the supreme objective after it was understood that the chances of toppling the regime
It's a
are
very
low?
nice engine,
The
original.
United States replacing the Iranian regime. Wait. Another major report is just coming out with the renewal of talks between the United States and Iran that took place in the presence of Witkoff and Kushner. Donald Trump said that the talks with Iran took place last night with the participation of Witkoff and Kushner. And U.S. President Donald Trump said that the talks took place on the night between Sunday and Monday, and that his envoy, Steve Witkoff, and his advisor and also son-in-law, Jared Kushner, took part in them together with other figures. So, I'm here, Pinto. With me is Mati Shoshani, and we have Boots on the Ground coming to you from Jerusalem, and we bring you the whole truth about what's happening in Israel and everything that's happening in our neighborhood, the Middle East. And this is day 24 of the Roaring Lion War, or by its American name, Epic Fury. Well, the Israeli Air Force is carrying out its second strike round of this day in Tehran, minutes after Israel carried out a target elimination in the heart of Iran, and a precise missile entered an apartment in a residential tower in the city of
Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you.
Revolutionary Guard
I'm live in France.
Trump announced that the United States and Iran held good and productive talks over the last 2 days, and as a result, postponed
This is a vintage RC,
attack against the energy
30
industry.
years old.
The war has not stopped.
I want to repair and to use.
But everything is on pause. U.S. President Donald Trump insisted in an interview
But need more reparation.
CNBC that what is happening in Iran can be described as regime change. He described the talks with Iran as intensive and said that he hopes something significant can be achieved. And in recent string of military successes by Israel and the United States against Iran is very important, but the decisive question now is not only what was hit, but what conclusions Iran itself is drawing from this campaign. Let me think with you for just a moment. Maybe Donald Trump is simply continuing to drive the markets crazy because the price of oil is falling, and his announcement created a turnaround in trading on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange as well in Israel. The optimism that investors drew after President Donald Trump said that the United States and Iran have good talks about the full solution led to a reversal of the oil prices, which fell to the area of $103 a barrel for Brent and also $90 for crude. And there's another possibility. Remember that Donald Trump said that everyone in the Revolutionary Guard in Iran
Oh no, my face.
well, if everybody's dead, then there is no Iranian regime because they are dead. So here the question is raised whether the United States is in talks with an alternative regime for Iran, and also whether Donald Trump announced a regime coup, and that what is happening. So write to us in the comments. Tell us what you think about this very, very complicated situation. I want to hear from you. And for those of you that are joining us right now, I'm Yair Pinto, and together with me is Mati Shoshani, our Middle East expert. And we will dive into all the details. And at these very moments, the Revolutionary Guards are celebrating victory and denying Trump's words. In an official statement, they said that they reject any negotiations. The United States has failed and Hormuz will remain closed. Iran's foreign ministry denied the words of U.S. President Donald Trump about good talks that took place over the last 2 days between the countries and published the following. Iran maintains its position, rejecting any kind of negotiation before achieving its war objectives. Trump's statement is a retreat from his previous threats. Iran's position in the Strait of Hormuz had not changed, and the strait will remain closed to those attacking Iran.
Right.
The spokesman for the Iranian Office of National Security and Foreign Policy Committee, Ibrahim Razaei, he claimed the battle continues. Another defeat for the devil. He's talking about the United States. Trump and the United States have failed again. The Iranian news agency Fox published a denial of U.S. President Donald Trump's statement about good talks that took place over the last 2 days with Tehran. An Iranian source was quoted as saying, "There is no direct contact with Donald Trump, and not through a mediator either." Trump backed down after he heard that our targets would be all the power.
I need to remove this first to repair
This is according to
the drive shaft.
and in Israel, they are not
It's
surprised by
really
the dramatic announcement of
hopeful.
U.S. President Donald Trump about good and productive talks with Iran, which led him to decide to cancel the ultimatum that he had set and to order that energy infrastructure and power stations not be attacked over the next 5 days. This announcement was denied by the Iranians shortly after it was published, and in Tehran's foreign ministry, they said that no negotiations had been taking place with the Americans. And a few minutes before Trump announced the suspension of the strikes, the Iranians threatened in return and said that all energy infrastructure, as well as information, technology, and desalination facilities belonging to
Hello, my friend. Thank you.
regimes in this region
Where are you from? Where are you watching?
attack. The parliament
From what country?
even announced that financial institutions would also become legitimate targets. So it is important for me to remind you that the Marines are already underway. That has not stopped. While Iran is trying to paralyze the global economy through blocking shipping routes in the Strait of Hormuz, the United States and Israel are preparing for the next stage of this war, a crushing blow that will disconnect Tehran from its last oxygen pipeline and deny any future deterrence capability. So the question is being asked, what is the next stage in the war with Iran? Is Trump trying to focus on objectives that can actually be achieved? Because the additional American forces arriving in the Middle East are not coming as decorations. And it seems that the President of the United States has a goal that he's trying to achieve, and one that apparently can indeed be achieved. According to the American and Israeli security sources, the United States has already begun pouring significant forces into the region, including about 4,500 sailors and marines, landing teams, helicopters, F-35 aircraft, and armored vehicles. And at the same time, the Pentagon accelerated the deployment of an additional unit from San Diego. And that is in addition to the 3 aircraft carriers and many more ships and nuclear submarines. So, only the coming days will determine Israel's future
Complicated.
and only controls the outcome. We'll see who does that. Is it Trump? Is it the Ayatollah?
Okay.
Mustafa? Whatever it is.
Now I have access.
We're not surprised by Trump's statement about contacts with Iran. The contacts have been known to Israel for many more than just 2 days already. And on the one hand, the assessment points towards an approaching end. But until the picture becomes clear, Israel intends to use every day to strike Iranian targets. So, let us dive into the details. I'm Mihir Pinto. With me is Mati Shoshani. And we are the boots on the ground that bring you the whole truth about what is happening in Israel. And this is week 24 of the war against the Revolutionary Guard in Iran, which is the head of the crumbling axis of evil in the Middle East. In just a second before we begin, I want to call on you, keep spreading the truth. Share our content with as many people as possible. Click the subscribe button. And most importantly, do not forget to look for me, Mihir Pinto, and for Mati Shoshani on social media, so you can get a view through our eyes of what it's like to live in Israel and the war. Now, our senior Middle East correspondent, Mati Shoshani, what's happening? Because within 3 days, Donald Trump managed to announce that the war was calming down, issue a dramatic
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for watching.
tell us actually what's happening now, because I'm confused.
Well, first of all, it's yes to all of the above. You have the right to be confused, as do all of us. The pace, we've been doing this for a long time. We've been doing content in the Middle East for a long time. And the pace in which things are moving is unbelievable. Literally just this morning, I was recording an interview with John Conspire, who's a Middle East expert, a real Middle East expert, I'll say it that way. And literally an hour after we recorded the interview, so much had happened that we're like, we need to record additional content to correct some of the things that were said, done, and took place in this interview. So a lot is happening very, very quickly.
We need to eat. I can't remove.
Which are unbelievable. President Trump, just minutes ago, is asked by a journalist as he's walking on or off a plane. It's not entirely clear. She says to him, President Trump, have the Iranians fully agreed not to enrich any uranium for civilian, medical, or military purposes? And President Trump says to her back, yes, they already agreed to this. This gives you an idea of how far these negotiations have already happened. We know some interesting things that have happened here. One, we know who Trump's negotiating with. Trump is,
Wow.
or the Trump administration is speaking to Mohammed Kalibaf. Kalibaf is a well-known name in
Not easy
Iranian
to
circles.
remove.
He's the chairman of the Iranian parliament. I was about to say the Persian parliament. The chairman of the Iranian parliament, a man who's well-known on the topic of Iran. And apparently he is the address that has been negotiating with American forces. Again, you heard it here first. TV in Israel. Mohammed Kalibaf is the character that is speaking to them. And he goes on. We just
I don't want to burn.
the expectation of the deadline on the relationship between, well, not the relationship, the condition of the Iranians opening the Strait of Hormuz. And what would happen next? Whether it would be a United States response or an Iranian response to that response. This would happen. We were expecting something dramatic to happen. Instead, we find out that there's a postponement of that by at least 5 days. And then just hours later, we're already hearing that there are advanced conversations taking place between the Iranians and directly with the Americans. Now, here's an interesting thing. Usually these conversations come through Qatar or Oman, sort of the traditional go-to mediators. The Qataris off the bat, by the way, I think without even being asked, said, no, we are not part of the negotiations. I think they were in a hurry to tell people that they were not part of the negotiation, and said, no, we're not part of the negotiation. We're not talking to them. We're not involved in this at all. So to sum this up, there's a lot going on. One, it seems like they've climbed down from that high ladder, both the Iranians and the Americans, and we're not going to a more substantial attack on Iranian facilities. Two, that there might be more advanced negotiations than we expected. Three, we know who they're happening with, so people high up in the Iranian regime. And the fourth part is we know that there are substantial issues that have already been agreed on, all the way to saying the words regime change. Did you hear that, Yael? That they're talking about the fact that the regime will be changed. I don't think that actually means that Ayatollahs are going to be removed. I think it means that they're going forward with reforms, which is a topic that we've discussed several times that might happen, which that part of an agreement, whatever long-term agreement there will be a discussion of substantial reforms in Iran that would be the type that would allow the United States, Israel to say, we can expect something different to happen in the future. That might be exactly what we're looking at. I say this a lot, Yael. We're looking at history in the making, but today that really is the case. Things are moving at a very snappy pace, very substantial chain of events that's happened just in front of our eyes.
Well, yeah, definitely, Mati. So let's say we're talking now. Are the Israeli airstrikes and the Basic forces going to stop now? Is everything kind of like slowing down for 5 days, or everything continues as usual? But we are not attacking the energy facilities in Iran. So are we still attacking the Basic forces? Are we still attacking the government structures? Are we still attacking the Navy? Are we still attacking Iranian terrorists?
Yes, as of now, as we're standing here going live, yes, the IDF is still attacking in Iran. I literally need to pull up, I think, Telegram and make sure that someone didn't say that there was a call from Trump to Netanyahu to say that there was an agreement.
Thank you, friend, for watching.
What we know is that Israel, even while these headlines are coming out, even while this information is being circulated, Israel continues to attack targets throughout Iran. I'm going to tell you some of the targets that have been attacked. We're talking about military industries. We're talking about the manufacturing, the assembly facilities for some of the launchers. We're talking about targets all throughout Iran, but also including in Tehran itself. So we're very much not there yet. And I'd say at the same time, as we're standing here, there are additional rocket launches and attempts at rocket launches from Hezbollah towards Israel, Hezbollah being a very clear Iranian proxy. So we're not there yet. I think the only end to the fire or the attacks will be when we're much closer, much more near to a signing of some kind of truce or some more
Oh my God.
of the status that we're in between the United States, Israel, and the Iranians. So for now, yes, Israel continues to attack Iran. Yes, for now, Hezbollah continues to strike in Israel.
They put some glue. It's very long time.
We'll find out later tonight if that changes the situation.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, yeah. It's just crazy how things shift so fast here in this region. But talking about Hezbollah, we have like 3 brigades that include infantry, paratroopers, engineering units.
Okay, the best thing I need to do is
that are going into South Lebanon. Now,
No, three divisions, yeah, of brigades.
3 divisions. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
3 divisions, yeah.
So what's the plan for South Lebanon, and how long will that take to
Tracy,
get rid of
Tracy.
Hezbollah?
So it's more than getting rid of Hezbollah. There are 2 moves that are happening in southern Lebanon right now. One is the IDF is making a substantial push to clear out southern Lebanon, specifically the security buffer that has been defined by the
Okay.
IDF as essentially any area that has a direct line of sight into Israel or into Israeli communities. There's a good reason for that. Over the past 2.5 years, Hezbollah has been firing from within Shia-related and also sometimes non-Shia villages towards Jewish communities or Israeli communities on the other side of the border. Some of the fire was indirect, so mortars, rockets, etc., those can be farther off. But a lot of the fire came from direct line of sight positions. So a village where you can see into Israel proper, and someone takes a large, let's call it an anti-tank missile, launches that missile. Someone takes a machine gun, starts firing towards those communities. The IDF is making a concentrated effort to clear those villages of all Hezbollah presence. And when I say all, I mean literally every single Hezbollah terrorist in those villages, pushing them back and then creating a security buffer in which some of the homes, the forward positions that were used by Hezbollah repeatedly to fire on Jewish communities are being destroyed to prevent them from coming back a day later and firing once again. Myself, you two, we've seen firsthand.
You need to remove the fuel tank so I have access. Oh la 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 la.
Israeli communities. It has not been limited to the Jewish ones, and we're not going to let them do that again. 3 divisions is a substantial force. It's the crack force.
This is the problem, this one.
Of our soldiers, the best of the best, the battle-hardened soldiers that have fought for several years now. They're maneuvering through Lebanon. They're clearing those villages. They're creating a security buffer. So whenever there's a ceasefire, it's without Hezbollah being present on our borders. Whenever there's a ceasefire, we've cleared out those Hezbollah sympathizer villages and villagers who have been
My
working
battery.
alongside them. And I need to say this very, very clearly. In some cases, there's innocent bystanders and civilians who don't cooperate with the enemy. In Iran, Israel and the United States have been abundantly careful not to hit civilian targets. That's not the case in some of these villages in Lebanon. The people living in them have had Hezbollah tunnels built underneath their homes, underneath their cemeteries, underneath their schools. The people living in them have used their homes as firing targets for where they can fire anti-tank missiles from within the homes onto Israeli communities. You and I have seen those, the damage from that firsthand. So the IDF is in a substantial move to really clear out Hezbollah once and for all. This is a part of a bigger move in which Hezbollah will have to be disconnected from its source of power and finances, which is, of course, the Iranian So that Mati looks like more intensive months, if not more than that. And what's your estimation? How long is this gonna still be kind of unraveling? And when we'll have some kind of answers of how the future of the Middle East will look like? I know it's a big question. It's a big question. Let's start with the near and we'll go to the far. Short term, the next couple of days are going to be very, very important to determining the future of what happens here. Whether or not the Trump White House is able to reach some kind of interim agreement with the Ayatollah regime, whether or not they're able to open up the Strait of Hormuz and write this down as a victory for the United States and its allies.
Okay,
Determine where
good.
we're going. We're 5 days away from
I
the
got it.
that will set President Trump.
No need to remove everything. It's okay now.
And I say the next big milestone really is, will there be regime change in Iran? Will the Ayatollah regime see some kind of substantial reform? Will it be overthrown by its own people?
It works well. Thank you for watching.
What happens, it changes what happens here. And I'd say more importantly, there's a long-term picture. The long-term picture is if the U.S. comes out on top of this conflict, if it's able to open up the Strait of Hormuz, if it's able to show a win against the Iranian forces, if it's able to cut back Iranian influence on its proxies and the funding of those proxies, we're looking at a Middle East that will be transformed. Abraham Accords 2.0, as we like to say. Of course, the Saudis and other Gulf states having much more of an incentive to partner with the United States and with Israel in whatever future arrangement we have. And Israel and the United States once again clearly seen as the victors, as the peacemakers, and as those who have used power, governance, and have been aided by God. I think that's worth saying, and really bringing a substantial change to this region. Most importantly, I think we need to look forward to something better being present for the people of Iran, for their evil regime to be overthrown, changed, transformed, and for a better day for those people in Iran. But there's a lot on the line right now. The next couple of days really are dramatic, are historic, are important to see if we can reach an agreement where the Iranian regime stops its acts of violence, opens up the Strait of Hormuz, and cooperates, giving up its nuclear plan.
This is a 30 years old RC nitro car.
So there's a lot on the line in the next couple of days. I'm sure me and you are going to spend a lot of time on lives and reports on this topic. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Mati, and we'll see you again later on this evening. Thank you so much. And to all of you that are just joining us now, we are TV in Israel, and this is Boots on the Ground, where we report multiple times a day on what's happening in this war, what's happening in Israel, what's happening in the Middle East. So, if you want to receive our daily update, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube so you don't miss this channel, and leave us a comment. Tell us where you're watching from. And if you want to see this war behind the scenes through our eyes, Yair Pinto and Mati Shoshani, look for us on social media platforms. Because Israel is under attack right now. Sirens are sounding. Missiles are falling. Families are running to bomb shelters in the middle of the night. The world is watching the war unfold in the sky. But on the ground, another battle is happening quietly. A battle for food, for dignity, for survival. Because war does not only happen on the front lines. It reaches the kitchen table. Reservists in the IDF have been called up again away from their jobs for months and some for years. Small businesses have collapsed completely. Elderly people are afraid to leave their homes during missile attacks. For many Israelis, the fridge is simply empty. At Meir Panim, we see it every single day. Holocaust survivors sitting alone in dark apartments. Families of the IDF soldiers trying to survive while a parent is fighting on the front lines. While the world watches the missiles, we are watching the people. Every day, Meir Panim provides hot meals, food packages, and care for those who need it most.
Good.
Alone.
We put it in the back.
Stand with the people who are suffering quietly. You can do that by supporting the people of Israel at bless-israel.org. That's bless-israel.org. Help feed the hidden victims of this war. Again, it's bless-israel.org.
And you can make your donation now and stand.
Thank you for watching my live, everyone.
Is striking in
I
Tehran
am happy you're
right now.
watching.
Air defense systems in the Iranian capital have been activated. Explosions are being heard at several locations, and at these same very moments, Washington is announcing a surprising pause. There will be no American strike on Iran's power station in the coming days. So, what really happened here within just a few hours is a diplomatic breakthrough, a Trump decision move. Only, or something different. Maybe a short delay before a harsher stage of this war. We're not sure. And this is day 24 of the Roaring Lion War, or by its American name, Epic Fury. And the main headline for today is not only a strike or an interception. The headline is a change of direction. U.S. President Donald Trump issued a clear ultimatum over the opening of the Strait of Hormuz and threatened to destroy Iran's power stations, announced at the last moment a 5-day freeze. According to him, over the last 2 days, good and very productive talks took place between Washington and Tehran, and therefore he ordered the postponement of any strike on Iranian energy infrastructure. But almost immediately afterwards came the denial from Tehran, sharp, forceful, and even mocking. Iran's foreign ministry announced that there are no negotiations at all, that the Iranian position has not changed.
Happy Tuesday to everyone. Thank you for watching, my friend.
Attacking Iran.
Shout out from Paris.
The Iranian Parliament's National Security Committee, Ibrahim Azai, went one step further and said, the battle continues. Another defeat for the devil. Trump and the United States have failed again. It is important to understand the sequence of events. Not long ago, Trump was speaking in the language of ultimatum. If Hormuz is not open, Iran's power stations will be destroyed. This was a public, clear threat designed to resolve the question of shipping in the Gulf quickly. Now, less than a day before the deadline expires, a reversal arrives. Not only was the threat not carried out, it was frozen for 5 days, subject to continued meetings and discussion. In other words, the threat was not taken off the table. It was simply moved 5 days forward. And that is a very important detail. Anyone trying to read this move as a complete retreat is missing the wording of the American announcement. Trump did not say the operation was canceled. He said it was postponed. And from here, the real poker game begins. On the one hand, Trump is talking about intensive talks, about the chance for an agreement, and about the possibility that something significant can be achieved within days. Various reports said that both Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner were involved in overnight talks.
Guys, this is 30 years old.
Other
30 years old, Nitro RC.
were conducted through direct and indirect channels, including Qatari and Turkish mediation. Opposite Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. And then on the other hand, the Iranians are denying not only the content, but also the very existence of the contact. The Fox agency quoted an Iranian source claiming that there is no direct contact with Donald Trump or even through a mediator, and that Trump backed down after hearing that Iran would direct its response against all the power stations in West Asia. This is no longer just a dispute over details. This is an open clash between two versions of reality. Here, it is worth stopping on one point. Who was most surprised? The world or the Revolutionary Guards? Because judging by the character of the Iranian reaction, it seems that even in Tehran, they did not expect this American war deal. If there had already been a fully arranged and closed understanding, it is likely that the Iranian statement would have been much more measured. In practice, what we got was a chain of denials, sarcastic responses, and an attempt to present the move as an Iranian victory. In other words, even if the context did take place, it is not certain that the Iranian side wanted to expose them right now, and this has operational meaning. When the regime rushes to deny, it may be trying to preserve an image of standing firm under pressure in front of its own public, in front of the Revolutionary Guard, and in front of its proxies in this region. In Israel, by contrast,
We need to remove and to change the plastic.
they did not fall off their chairs. And according to reports, Israel had already been updated on the contacts for more than 2 days. And the understanding is that right now, there's no choice but to go along with Trump. That does not mean enthusiasm. On the contrary, one line emerging from the report is that in Israel, we would prefer to continue towards a harsher move against the Iranian energy infrastructure, even at the price of an Iranian response against the infrastructure in Israel. But if Trump decides to freeze things for 5 days, Israel will no longer go against him. That is also why the cabinet meeting was postponed. That is also why the message is not total restraint, but cautious waiting while continuing to use the coming days for strikes on regime targets, nuclear targets, and missile stockpiles. And this leads to the big question of this report. Is Washington now changing its objective? Does the United States understand that the chance of toppling the Iranian regime is lower than it looked at the beginning of this war? And is therefore focusing on a goal that can actually be achieved, opening the Strait of Hormuz and breaking Iran's grip on Karaj Island? More and more reports are pointing in that direction.
Okay,
And
I can put the original.
opening the strait has become the supreme objective of this campaign. Not because it is more impressive than bringing down the regime, but because it is more achievable, faster, and also gives Trump a clear image of victory. Shipping returns, the energy crisis is stopped, and Iran loses a central terrorist part. Hormuz is the bottleneck of the global energy system. Before the war, more than 130 vessels passed through it every single day. Now, according to reports, the number has dropped to just 3 or 4. More than 20 commercial ships have been attacked since the war began. Almost 2,000 ships and about 20,000 crew members are stuck in the area or are avoiding entering it. This is no longer just a military threat. It is a global economic chokehold. That is why what is happening there is not just another front. It is the center of gravity of the whole campaign. As long as Iran keeps the strait effectively
This is not original. This is the original Kyosho.
in its hands,
So I will change it with the original one.
economy, over the markets, and over decision making in Washington and in Europe. This is where Karaj comes in. According to several assessments emerging today, that island is not just another target, but perhaps the only place from which the balance of power can truly be changed without going deep into mainland Iran. The reason is simple. About 90% of Iranian oil exports pass through Karaj.
Pourquoi tu rentres pas chez toi? Et attends, pourquoi tu rentres pas chez toi? Je suis pas parti avec toi. Alors tu m'en veux pas? Ouais. Bah alors, on a pris sa journée?
Avec Indeed, rencontrez un employeur qui respecte vos horaires.
Allez-y, hein, quelques petits trucs à finir de toute façon.
Whoever controls Karaj strikes the regime's main oxygen pipeline. Not only its revenues, but also its ability to finance internal repression, sustain proxies, rebuild its systems, and continue pressuring the world through Hormuz. Therefore, if Trump wants an achievement that can be presented as a decisive result without talking about an invasion of Tehran, Karaj and Hormuz together give him exactly that. And the American forces arriving in the region are not coming for decoration. According to reports, about 4,500 sailors and Marines are already moving into the Middle East with a battalion landing force, helicopters, F-35 aircraft, and armored landing vehicles. The Pentagon has also accelerated the deployment of an additional unit from San Diego. Anyone looking at this with a military eye understands immediately this is not just a show or presence. It is the building of an option. If the contacts fail, if the Iranians do not open the strait, and if Trump wants a visible achievement, this force could very quickly become not just a deterrent force, but an execution also explains, well, Trump did not really give up the option of acceleration. He only created a window, 5 days, not a month, not 2 weeks, 5 days, in which it can be tested. Whether Iran is offering something real, mainly around the area of Hormuz, yes, Trump will be able to argue that the force worked, that the threat worked, and that he forced change without
Okay.
long infrastructure
I put the new one, the original
the
one.
table of decision with American
This
forces
is awesome.
and with the political infrastructure for a harsher move already prepared. There is a short point here worth pausing on. If you want us to keep bringing you the full picture with all the details, as we do, cross-checking without telling you the pretty stories, but actually what's happening, make sure to subscribe to TV and Israel on YouTube so that you receive the full picture of boots on the ground. And now, let's return to the line of events, because alongside all the talk about negotiations, the war itself has not stopped for even a minute. The Air Force continues to strike in Tehran. Explosions were heard in the Iranian capital today as well. And this is a critical point. The negotiations, if they exist, are not taking place instead of fighting, but under fire. And the Israeli message is clear. As long as there is no real arrangement, every day will be used for another strike on Iranian targets. That means that while Trump talks about talks, Israel continues working on the target ban. This is a classic division of labor. The United States keeps checking whether a result can be achieved through political military pressure, and Israel continues reducing Iran's breathing room on the ground.
Okay.
It is also worth paying
It's
attention
nice.
to the perceptual aspect. Trump knows the markets are listening to him, and the markets did indeed respond immediately. Oil prices dropped sharply. Brent fell around $103 a barrel, and crude to around $90. There was also a sharp turnaround on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange
Let's put
market.
back the fuel
Sharp
tank.
movement was recorded in currency trading as well. In other words, a few lines on Truth Social managed within minutes to change the market picture. This is not a footnote. It is part of this war. The moment that the price of oil drops, the pressure on the White House drops as well. The pressure on the American consumer drops, and Trump's room to maneuver grows. So the possibility cannot be ruled out that Donald Trump is not only conducting negotiations with Iran, he's also negotiating with the market. And on the other hand, the Iranians are also conducting a war of perception. Notice their warning. They did not settle for saying there are no negotiations. They added that Trump backed down from his threats that the United States failed and that the strait will remain closed. In other words, from their perspective, the very delay is an achievement. They want the region to see an American president who blinked. That is why even inside Israel, the interpretation is being heard that Trump blinked. But it's important to be careful with this conclusion, because if within 5 days Trump carries out a move around Karaj or Hormuz, then suddenly all the talk about blinking will look like a state in deception, not like real. Right now, it's too early to decide. Brad Cooper's statement also enters strongly here. The commander of the United States Central Command continues to send a consistent message. The war can end if you choose. In his interview, he said that the United States is fighting
Okay, guys.
not the people of Iran.
Next one is the engine.
Out of desperation. The Iranian Navy and the Air Force are barely functioning. And the patterns of fighting have changed.
Still a good compression.
Launches to isolated launches. He also argued that about 140 Iranian vessels have been destroyed or severely damaged, and that there is currently no effective Iranian naval presence in the Persian Gulf, in the Strait of Hormuz, or the Gulf of Oman. If these things are true, there is here direct reinforcement for the thesis that Washington understands that enormous damage has already been caused to the Iranian capabilities, and that now it is worth focusing the move on the political strategic result that can be achieved. In this context, the detail about the Caspian Sea is more important than it appears. Images published after the strike in Bandar Anazli show heavy damage to Iranian vessels, including missile boats and also command vessels. If this does indeed involve damage to several missile boats and command craft, then Israel has already shown that it can expand the maritime campaign far beyond the Persian Gulf and the strike Iranian naval capabilities outside the traditional arena of operations as well. The meaning is that when people now talk about closing the strait, Iraq, and the American-Israeli naval force, it must be remembered that the maritime campaign has already begun in practice in several arenas, not only in Hormuz, but within all of these achievements, there is also the more skeptical line. Perhaps the Iranian regime learned the one thing most important to it, that a direct ground invasion into the heart of Tehran is not on the table, and the
It's good.
survival itself is already an achievement. This is an important interpretation because it explains why Iran can observe, shrink, wear things down, and continue projecting steadfastness. If the regime is convinced that
It's okay, guys. It's not black.
continuity of rule will be imposed on it, it can try to turn survival itself into a perceptual victory. From here also comes the great importance of the argument around Karaj and Hormuz, because if the regime is not being toppled, then at the very least it must be deprived of the tool that finances it and gives it a deterrence, a lever for the future. That is also why in Israel, more and more people are
We need
talking
to
about
check
the must be
the
carried out
clutch.
if in reality is truly to be changed. Real treatment of Karaj and actual control of the Hormuz area. Not just more airstrikes, not just damage to another ship or another warehouse, but control that prevents the regime from returning to the same pattern that they have.
It's okay.
Because if the campaign
It's in
ends
good condition.
without arrangement and the Hormuz card remains in Iranian hands, the regime will see it as a permanent asset and not as an episode. And the meaning
I'm
of that
happy.
is
It's
that
in good condition.
in every future round, even if it is far off in time, Iran will return to exactly the same method, blocking shipping, raising prices, pressuring the world, and then extorting consciousness. And still,
We need to clean
one major question
the clutch lining, my friend.
is Donald Trump really talking with an existing Iranian regime, or is he signaling and signing another channel, some combination of mediators, or even an attempt to speak with an alternative or fragmented layer of rule? There is no solid basis in the materials that were provided to us that I know, but this is very important to understand. And one thing can be said with certainty. The very fact that Trump
Yes.
on saying that there are good talks while Tehran denies it harshly points to the fact that something is indeed taking place through back channels. Otherwise, the risk that Trump would immediately be exposed as a liar on the international stage would have been too great.
Let's put it back. Now it's clean. Everything is okay, huh?
L'argent, vous travaillez dur pour lui. Mais est-ce qu'il travaille pour vous? Parce que pour des millions de personnes, il travaille chaque jour avec XTB. Peu importe leur capital de départ. Rejoignez-les et créez votre propre réalité. Ne vous contentez pas de gagner votre argent. Prenez-en le contrôle. Étape par étape. Investissement après investissement. Vous travaillez dur pour votre argent. Maintenant, laissez-le travailler pour vous. Attention, investir comporte des risques de perte d'argent et il peut ne pas vous convenir.
It may be that the gap is not between there are talks going on right now and there are no talks, but between there are talks and there is an official negotiation. And in the Middle East, that is a very significant gap. So, as of this moment, the picture is this. Trump
Oh no.
strike on the power
You
station.
need to put one separator.
Denied any kind of negotiation, but reacting as tough real pressure has been applied. Iran continues striking in Tehran and is not slowing the pace. Hormuz remains a critical point. Karaj is increasingly becoming the key. And the American force arriving in the region shows that diplomacy here is not replacing a military option. It resets it. These 5 days are not meant for breathing. They are meant for a different
We need to put one extra on this so it's not moving.
Trump an achievement around Hormuz, or Trump returns to the table with a larger force and a narrower, cleaner, more achievable objective. And the next report question is already ready. If within 5 days Hormuz does not reopen, will the next step be a return to the threat against the power stations, or an Israeli-American ground move towards Karaj, the oil island? What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments what will happen next. And in the meantime, make sure to subscribe to TVN Israel YouTube channel. We have boots on the ground, and we report every single day from Jerusalem, where I'm sitting right now, just at the end of this day. So, if you want to see this wall through our eyes, look for your imprint on Mati Shoshani on social media platforms, and keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for wisdom to our leaders. Pray for the soldiers, men, women that are risking their lives for all of us. Pray for the innocent children in this region that need to go through bomb shelters so many times. Hopefully this will end soon. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. God has all the control.
We need to clean it first, guys. It's much better clean. No way, no way, not good. Still moving. It's not good. One more separator. Thank you for watching. Shout out. Alright. Two is too much. Where is it? Where it goes? Okay. It's good. It's good, my friend. It's finished. Now we can put it back. China. Okay, next time, next things to do. Hello, hello, good morning. Good morning in France. Chat. Oof. Okay. Hello, hello. Thank you for watching, everyone. It's not moving. Okay. I don't care. Hello. Thank you everyone for watching my video, my live. Thank you guys. Okay, it's time to put back the engine. Let's put it back. Okay guys. First we need to put it back.
Rich Edson starts us off tonight live in the North Lawn. Good evening, Rich.
Good evening, Brett. The next steps could be in Pakistan. Vice President J.D. Vance, envoy Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner are scheduled to meet this week in Islamabad with Iranian officials. That's according to Reuters. To that, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says this is a fluid situation and speculation about meetings should not be deemed as final until the White House formally announces them. Meantime, President Trump says there's progress.
We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead.
President Trump says the United States will postpone attacks against Iran's energy infrastructure for 5 days after his administration held productive discussions with Iran.
We have major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement.
Senior Iranian officials deny that. Speaker of Iran's parliament posted, quote, "No negotiations have been held with the U.S. and fake news is used to manipulate the financial and oil markets and escape the quagmire in which the U.S. and Israel are trapped." Confronted with Iran's claims, the president contended the sides are talking.
They're going to have to get themselves better public relations people. The communication, as you know, has been blown to pieces.
Iranian leadership is in chaos from U.S. and Israeli assassination strikes. Axios reports Egypt, Pakistan, and Turkey passed messages between envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf. The president's announcement follows his threat Saturday to attack Iranian power plants unless it agreed to open the Strait of Hormuz. Narrow waterway Iran has effectively closed since the start of this conflict, helping spike oil prices. The president's comments sent oil lower today.
This is a few weeks of turmoil, a few weeks of disruption to solve a multi-decadal and ultimately multi-generational problem.
With a stop at Graceland, the president was in Memphis today, primarily to address a crime task force. Despite the domestic event, the president's focus stayed overseas.
They want peace. They've agreed they will not have a nuclear weapon.
Democrats charge the president's attack on Iran will make the region less safe.
A more provocative regime is going to be in charge with the same military capacities. This is what happens when you put
It's almost ready to run, my friend.
in charge of American national security.
Despite the apparent
Let's see.
negotiations with Iran and pledge from President Trump not to hit Iranian power plants, the Pentagon says the U.S. military continues to aggressively strike Iranian military targets with precision munitions. Brett?
Rich has an long, Rich. Thank you. We want to see no nuclear bomb, no nuclear weapon, not even close to it. Low key to the missiles. We want to see peace in the Middle East. And we want no enrichment. But we also want the enriched uranium.
We need to put this for
This happens.
the distance of the gear.
Start for Iran to build itself back. President Trump saying he's giving around 5 days.
Okay, this is probably okay.
Are ongoing. They're not talking about who they're talking to. However, it's being reported that the head of the Iranian parliament is engaged in these talks, and that there are a number of things that are being agreed to. Whether he has the blessing of everybody running Iran or who is running Iran is really the question. Meantime, just that announcement did affect the crude oil price down about $10 since the announcement on Truth Social this morning. Let's bring in our panel, Olivia Beavers of the Wall Street Journal, Democratic strategist Adrian Elrod, and Fox News political analyst Guy Benson. Guy, this negotiation, there are specifics that have to happen, but Iran, no matter who's in charge, does not have a great history of living up to whatever they agree to.
Well, they're denying that the talks are even happening. But to your point, it's important to remember that this regime lies like they breathe. And just a few days ago, there was a key moment, I think, in this conflict when the regime launched
No
at
way.
the Diego Garcia base in the middle of the Indian Ocean, roughly 4,000 kilometers away from Iran. On February 28th, on NBC News, after this conflict got going, the foreign minister of Iran went on NBC, and I wrote down the quote. He said, "We intentionally kept the range of our missiles below 2,000 kilometers, so we don't have that capability, and we don't want to." And then they just fired a much longer range missile at Diego Garcia. If it was fired the other direction, it could potentially reach London. They lie about everything all the time, including and especially their nuclear program and ambitions. I think that missile firing that I mentioned is further vindication of the decision President Trump and the Israelis to take the action that they have.
Adrian, I'm trying to figure out where the Democrats
Okay, guys.
is now.
Now it's okay. It's ready to run.
Is it that he should negotiate an end to the conflict, or is it he shouldn't have gotten
Ready to run like a friend.
Well, I think it honestly depends on who you talk to. I mean, what I think Democrats is the position they should take is, first and foremost, we are glad that the Supreme Leader is gone. Give Trump some credibility for that. But then also asking, what is the plan moving forward? Are you able to trust the Iranian leaders, whoever you're negotiating with right now? As Guy just said, they're not necessarily a trustworthy bunch. And I think Democrats have frankly had a little bit of a struggle here on trying to acknowledge and trying to have some credibility on the fact that the Supreme Leader is gone, but they also have credibility and they have very much the right, just as Republicans do too, to ask what is the plan going forward.
Yeah. And the Strait of Hormuz is the center point. It is where the choke point on all the oil is. 20% of the world's oil goes through there, and that's the real concern up on Capitol Hill and every place else.
Certainly, and as you talked about in the beginning, gas prices.
Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day to everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
But with the Strait of Hormuz, it's been a large leverage point, and I think we saw President Trump
We got to
use it.
finish.
But he's also been pretty tricky.
Thank you. Thank you.